So I want to make a new video on potentially the best strat in the game. It's pretty silly, but it's also just pretty overpowered, and that is essentially barrels and go. So let me show you some gameplay real quick and explain. So yeah, essentially you're rolling this mod on your map that says contains volatile barrels, and now these barrels just spawn a lot of loot, and they also scale with your map. So more scarabs, more currency in your map, they also get that. Exiting this map, I already dropped one divine from a barrel. I'm dropping a lot of scarabs from barrel. Most of the loot that you're seeing on the screen is dropping from barrels. I'd say around 65% of so loot, 60% of loot is literally just from the barrels. It is quite absurd and quite insane. And most importantly, it scales up back to basics. So back to basics, you're gonna have more barrels, more currency, and more scarabs. So yeah, it's a back to basics barrel farm. And once again, it's probably the best farm in the game. It's 70 divines an hour with my test. Of course, if scarabs go down, it'll be less profit, but even a half profit an hour, this is still absolutely insane. I also want to say, any character can do this. You don't have to be MF. You have 0 MF gear. The reason why, since barrels are majority of your loot, they don't get affected by player quant. But you do want to be able to kill the boss. It's not too important. You can skip it, as you can see here. As long as you have hand debuffs, you can kill the boss really easily. No issues whatsoever. So yeah, clear the whole map. Kill the boss, go next map. Your maps are like 3 to 4 minutes on average. So let's talk about this real quick. So this is the Atlas tree. I'll have a link down below, of course. And yeah, it's just standard back to basics scarab Atlas tree. Taking back to basics, every single scarab node and every single map effect node. That's it. Very basic, right? You can block whatever scarabs you want. I block based off of what scarabs are worth. Have a price. So yeah, you can block off if you want. Yeah, very, very standard back to basics scarab farm Atlas tree. For the scarabs you want to use, this is pretty variable. So I think 100 traders is mandatory, and I like using Nemesis. And then for your last two, a mysterious scarab. The mysterious scarab's okay, but it's not really what the strat is based off of, which some people may think. It is good, but yeah, you can use a third one if you want over Nemesis. I prefer Nemesis, as you just drop a lot more loot from rare monsters, and you also steal more hand debuffs, so you're more tanky and a little bit more speedy as well. See, I prefer Nemesis, but you can use 3 of these if you want. Yeah. As for your map, you want to run Fortress. So as far as I've heard, Fortress is the best for volatile barrels. And it seems to spawn the most for some reason. You can try other maps. I haven't really tried that much myself. But yeah, Fortress seems to be the best. And it also makes it really easy to pick up loot. I don't think you want to do Sanctuary, because Sanctuary makes the loot spawn over the place, so your maps will take longer. I don't think it's very ideal. I think A-Bomb could maybe be good. But yeah, I was doing Fortress. And essentially how you're rolling your maps, you have to use chaos, and I'll show the profits and all that real quick after this. So you have to chaos your maps quite a bit. I think I average close to like 30 chaos to 40 chaos per one map, which is quite expensive, but very well worth it, as you can see. So yeah, you spam chaos on your maps until you get the barrel mod. Now keep in mind, you get a lot of bad map mods in the strat. You have to have a very, very good character. So yeah, this is the mod you want right here. Area contains 35 additional clusters of highly volatile barrels. This is what drops order loot. Not really these scarabs, although they drop some additional loot. And like I said, this scales a map effect mod and scales it back to basics. So this ends up being around 120 to like 140 more barrels. And since this mod's pretty rare, it's like you see it once every 20 chaos orbs, you really want to be able to run almost every single map mod in the game. Personally, I only skip 3 map mods and I run everything else. It's very, very rippy, very dangerous. You need a very strong character, but like I said, you don't need MF gear. Barrels don't scale quant. Although quant gear is good and is the best to have, you don't need it. As you see, my character's full move speed. I dropped a lot of quant just to get more move speed for this strategy. So yeah, 0 quant character probably still makes 60 divines an hour, as long as you are able to clear the map as fast as I can, which I clear them very fast as I'm a Deadeye Bow character. So keep that in mind. I think for priority, you want damage, the movement speed, kind of equal, and then quant. I think defense is kind of irrelevant when you have Penenter because you have so much defensive buffs anyway. So yeah. Now here's the profits, and probably what most people probably want to see. So this is the first hour test I did. We made 73 divines in total, 14 divines in supply, so it's 59 divines. But this does not include the 2 yokes I dropped, this does not include the puzzle box I dropped, and this does not include the key I dropped, which made this a total of 73 divines, I believe, or 74 divines. So yeah, this was a 73 divine profit hour. after we take into consideration of those drops. Pretty good. We got lucky with one more yoke than average, so it's one yoke every 20 maps on average. So this should have been like 70 divines on average. As you can see, we dropped 2 creations, which is not lucky, as you see with the other hours. And we dropped 6 raw divines. Then for the next screenshot, so this one does not have the cost, but we can use the same cost here. So negative 14 divines. So 91 divines in profit, negative 14 divines, and we're looking at 77 divines in this hour. 77 divines, and this does not count the 2 keys and the 1 yoke I got. This hour was over 80 divines in profit after we count the cost. Oh, let me just put DD real quick. And then the last hour was actually a little bit poor. So this was 72 divines and does not count the yoke we got. So 75 divines minus 14 for the cost. So 61 divines in profit. So this hour was pretty poor because I tried different scarab setups. And in this third hour, I guess the scarab setup was just pretty bad because I only got 72 divines or 75 divines in total. So yeah, I would say the most optimal setup is 100 traders, 2 mysterious, and 1 scarab nemesis. This hour I tried other scarabs and it just performed a lot worse. But even still, this is still a 60 plus divine profit hour, which is insane. So yeah, in total, if you average all 3 hours, it was 70 plus divines an hour. You know, that includes all the costs for these maps, the base cost and the chaos to roll them. Now, of course, rolling maps does take a bit. I say rolling maps takes around 5 to 8 minutes. So if you want to take off 10% profits and maybe call it like 62 divines an hour, that's fair. But yeah, it's either way, 60, 70, 80 divines an hour, whatever it is, it's absolutely insane. And my character's not even max for it. I probably want like a little bit more damage or whatever, but it is pretty good. My character, I would say, is like 95% optimal for a strategy like this, as it's very, very fast. So yeah, that's it. That's the whole strategy. It's honestly pretty silly that this is the meta, but hey, this is probably the best strat in the game. Even if scarabs go down like negative 30% in price, it's still probably the best strategy in the game. So anyway, that's about it. If you have any questions, leave a comment below. And of course, I'm streaming on Twitch daily.